What's going on, guys? Welcome back to Country Bunkers Trains. I hope you're doing well. Work's been pretty chaotic for me the last couple weeks, so I haven't had much opportunity to escape into the train room. But I'm taking full advantage of it tonight. It's nice to be able to escape to the train room and get away from everyday life, isn't it? It's that time once again on the channel. It's post-war week. And we've got another classic Lionel flagship to take a peek at. However, this is kind of a hybrid video. Not only is this a post-war engine, but she's currently equipped with TMCC command control. Pretty cool. Today, we're going to take a look at the 2354 New York Central F3 offered by Postwar Lionel. Another beautiful engine. I figured this would be a good time to shoot this video, seeing as how in the last post-war video we took a peek at the Santa Fe Warbonnet F3s offered by Postwar Lionel. I'll put a link in the description of this video to that video if that's something you would like to view. Unfortunately, I do not have a little fleet of these like I do the Santa Fe F3s. Hopefully in the future that'll change. I do really enjoy this engine. It's beautiful and it is a great runner. The New York Central F3 was debuted right alongside its brother, the Santa Fe, in 1948. It was produced for 8 years until 1955. It was offered in 3 different models, the 2333, 2344, and this one you see here, 2354. As gorgeous as this engine is, it's always kind of lived in the shadows of its brother, the Santa Fe. The Santa Fe, having the bright paint scheme on the engine, outsold this engine. This was, obviously it's a little more drab, not nearly as colorful. Due to that, it wasn't produced for nearly as long as the Santa Fe, unfortunately. Even though the Santa Fe outsold this engine quite a bit, it is still highly sought after and collected. It shares the same great detail, quality, and operating characteristics of the F3. And again, it is beautiful. Yeah, it is a little bit more dull and drab when you compare it to a Santa Fe, but she still looks great running around the layout. Like I was saying, the New York Central was released right alongside the Santa Fe. They were first debuted in 1948 and shared the same road number, 2333. They were available for 2 years through 1949. The 2344 was released in 1950 and available for 3 years through 1952. The third and last model was released in 1953 and was also available for 3 years through 1955. With the Santa Fe outselling the New York Central, Lionel quit production on the New York Central, whereas the Santa Fe carried on all the way throughout the post-war period of Lionel in 1969. This engine came equipped with a 3-position E-unit, dual horizontal motors, an operating horn, operating headlights, as well as operating coupler. She sports 2-piece ornamental horns on the roof, or cab, as well as separately applied ladders and clear porthole lenses on the sides of the shells. This model also comes equipped with magnetraction. She's a great puller. Just as its Santa Fe brother of the same era, the 2353, this is when Lionel started to cheapen things up a little bit. You'll notice the grab irons on the front of the nose are missing where they were present on the earlier models, as well as the metal mesh vents on the top of the shells. These were now molded into the shell. There were two variations of this model throughout its 3-year production run. It shares the same characteristics as the Santa Fe. The earlier versions did not come with the molded-in dimple on the roof of the cab, and the later versions did. Lionel discovered problems with warpage on the top of these shells, I am assuming due to heat from the motors and the light bulbs. To fix this, they molded in a dimple on the roof to make it a little bit stronger. As you can tell, this is a later variation. I've heard talk that this variation is one of the harder ones to come by. I don't know if that's true or not. I picked these engines up along with several other goodies from a local collector about an hour away. He was an older gentleman and none of his kids or grandkids were interested in the trains. He was looking to downsize. I promised him they were coming to a good home. I'd have to say this is my nicest post-war engine in my collection. It's absolutely beautiful. The shells still have a nice sheen to them. All the stripes are in great shape. Just beautiful. I have the original boxes under the layout. With these post-war engines, I don't like to consider myself the owner. I like to think of it more as the caretaker. Just as in the classic car community, I feel you don't ever really own these engines. They outlive us. They've been passed through several generations. So I take pride in having it during the time that I do and try to keep it as nice as I can. As I mentioned, I did do an ERR AC commander upgrade to this engine. It's command control. I kept it as factory as I could in an effort to be able to go back to how it was from the factory at any moment's notice. I still have the E-unit packaged up under the layout as well. I will say I was pretty shocked when I got these engines. As beautiful and nice as they are, the pickup rollers show signs of a lot of runtime. These must have been on somebody's layout for many years and getting a lot of use. The worst ones were on the powered unit. I transferred them over to the dummy unit for the time being. I still got to switch them out. But you can see they're in pretty rough shape. When I did the upgrade, I didn't want to run it on these, so I just threw them on the dummy unit. They only got to power the light bulb. But yeah, like I say, I was pretty shocked by that. These things are gorgeous, and this, like I say, to see that much runtime on them. Here's a look underneath the shell. You can see the ERR board that controls it now. I got pretty lucky with this upgrade. Just like the Santa Fe's from this same time period, they moved the horn into the dummy unit. The first two generations were up here in the powered unit. This made installing the ERR upgrade kit much easier. But yeah, it was a pretty easy install. It wasn't hard. I had some 16 gauge galvanized, which you can't really see. I made up my own little bracket. I bent it, and I'm actually using the same mounting position as the original E unit. I don't know if you can see it or not. Now, just as newer aged Lionel, these come with a run program switch. But as I say, I wasn't about to drill any holes into this engine. So I just have the switch stuffed down in the belly of the engine. Like I say, I wasn't drilling anything. I left the shell off to program it, switched it to run, and haven't messed with it since. This is actually the first time I've had the shell off since I did the upgrade a little over a year ago. It still looks great. It's held up. ERR does send you these little capacitors that you have to add. But again, it's not hard. The instructions are very clear. Like I say, a very easy install. I just taped the antenna to the top of the shell. I don't know if you can see the wire or not. But yeah, I'm pretty tickled with how it came out. I can't remember the exact reasoning. I was having issues with the E-unit. And plus I wanted to try this out, seeing as how this layout is nothing but command control. I can't run conventional engines over here. So I wanted to do the upgrade mainly for that. And like I say, I was having some issues with the E-unit. I remember rebuilding it once, but it was still having issues. But like I say, I've got it packaged up and I can rebuild it again and throw it back in if I ever want to. You can run these ERR boards in conventional mode as well. I don't know why you would, but but yeah, these are just like, modern TMCC boards. You can get as fancy as you want. They have control for directional lighting, couplers, smoke. You can add a sound system to them, or a soundboard. But I didn't want to go through all that. I wanted to keep this the same essence of what it was originally. Just a standard post-war engine. Obviously, I've lost the iconic hum of the E-unit, but I think it was a good trade-off. Obviously, it's still using its original motors. I will say it does seem to have a tiny bit better speed control with the upgrade kit. It runs a little bit better. But I mean, really, all this is an electronic E-unit at the moment. If you have a modern command control layout, but have your old trains, your dad's old trains, or hell, even your grandfather's old trains up in the attic or down in the basement, this is a very viable option to get them up and running again. I enjoy it. I think it's pretty cool. It brings a whole new aspect to the post-war engines. It kind of makes them new again. It wasn't that expensive. I want to say the upgrade all in was just a tad over $100. I don't know if I'd say I'd do all my post-war engines, but I definitely would do a select few. And I still have a couple that I would like to perform this upgrade on. Like I say, I've been enjoying it. It's pretty fun. The one drawback with this board is it won't control the post-war horn by itself. I've been investigating and looking in to maybe putting a resistor in or a relay of sorts to be able to operate the original horn off of this board. But I haven't researched it enough. I still need to look into it a little bit more. The horn on this model never worked, or hasn't worked since I've had it, so it wasn't a huge ordeal for me. And if I did want to get it working on this particular model, it'd be kind of a pain, seeing as how the horn is in the dummy unit. I don't know if I'd be able to perform that on this one, but like I say, I've got a couple other ones I'd like to do the upgrade on that have the horn in the same shell as the motors and all that good stuff. Also, as I was saying earlier, you can hook the headlights up to this and have them directionally operated. I opted out on doing that. They're being fed straight off of the track power, just as they were originally. Like I say, I wanted to keep this functioning as original as possible. I just wanted to add the electronic E-unit, or the command control, for it to run on the command control layout. But anyways, guys, let's go ahead and get this sucker fired up. I don't really ever use my TMCC remote anymore, the Cab 1. Ever since I put DCS on the layout, that's what I use. But in an effort of being nostalgic, let's go ahead and try it out. I've got this engine programmed in the number 3 slot. So she's armed and ready to go. As you can see, no E-unit, no buzz, no nothing. It's a command control engine now. But it is that simple. She's ready to go. Direction. Pretty cool. I hope you guys enjoyed this little clip of the 2354 from Postwar Lionel. If you did, please make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. It would be much appreciated. Until next time, guys, my name is Zach, and this is Country Bunkers Trains. Y'all take care.